Hey guys, welcome to Testing Universe. In this video, we are going to understand about software development lifecycle. In our introductory video about what is software testing, we have understood about software, but we have to understand now how exactly we are going to build a software, right? So to develop any software development lifecycle is an approach we have to follow, right? So what exactly is this particular software development life cycle? How exactly it will guide us in developing a software? We'll try to understand everything in detail about this. So what is software development life cycle? It's a systematic and step by step approach to develop a software. You will be having a systematic as well as different steps will be there, right? With that approach we are going to develop a software. So software development life cycle, it describes different phases involved in the development process. If you want to develop anything, right, you will be having you will be dividing that particular entire development into different phases, right, or different steps we can consider for now, right. Once we go in detail about this, you will understand about what are these different phases. It describes different steps involved in the development process, and it also gives the detailed roles involved in each phase. Means, okay, step one, I'm doing something. In that, what all roles in the sense, what are which all persons which are involved, and what are those that person roles, right? It This entire software development life cycle will give you a detailed overview of how exactly you are going to approach to develop a software, and then who are all involved in that particular approach, right? So we'll go ahead and understand, right, what are those phases, right? You can see here in this diagram, these are the different phases which are involved in developing a software. So what are these phases? The first phase is requirement phase. The second phase is analysis phase. Third phase is design phase. Fourth phase is development phase. Fifth phase is testing. Sixth phase is deployment. And then seventh phase is maintenance. Okay, we'll understand about all these phases in detail, right? But you can see here, what is this requirement? We have to go in detail about this, and this is one phase or one step, right? And then who are all involved, right, in this particular phase. So before we go in detail and understand like how exactly we are going to approach all these different phases, we will take a day-to-day activity which will be done by most of the human beings, right? Just to give a broader picture, or just to give a overview of how exactly it has similarities to develop a software. I'm going to take an example of, right, constructing a house, or constructing an apartment or anything, right? So we'll take up that example. That's a generic example I'm going to take, so that you will understand what exactly a person will do while constructing a house. So similarly, we will apply the same rules in software development, right? So if I want to construct a house, okay, let me just go in detail about this, right? I want to construct a house. So I will be having certain requirements, my own requirements to construct a house, right? So what are those requirements? First I will tell, I want to construct a house with 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, and I want to have a nice, right, garden in front. And whatever this 3 bedroom, this house should be a duplex house, okay? And I need to have a nice garden. I need car parking space for 2 cars, okay? We can consider it as big cars, 2 big cars. And then I want to have a parking space for 2 bikes. Just there might be a number of requirements. I'm just giving you with these requirements, we're giving you an overview. Okay, so let's consider a person by name XYZ, right? uh, or we can also take him as Tom, right? Tom wants to construct a house with these requirements. So what he will do, he will either approach an individual builder. He might approach an individual builder or a company. He might approach an individual builder or a company. Okay, let's say he has approached a company, right? And then he will say, right, these are my requirements. I want to construct my house. I have a plot of 60 by 40, right? In this I want to construct a duplex house with all these requirements. Okay, so this is called a requirement phase. Means Tom, if you consider the company, this company or individual will be a developer, okay, or a construction company, or you can consider them as a builder or developer. Okay, you can consider them as a builder or a developer, and this particular Tom will be a client to these builder or developer. He will be a client to these builder or developer. So the client is going to approach the developer or the development company or the builder company to develop a house with all these requirements. Okay, he will give the requirements. So from this company, or from if he is an individual builder, any one person, okay, will be assigned, and that person, uh, for example, by name Henry, okay, he's going to gather the requirements. He's going to take all the requirements of the Tom, and then what he will do, he will analyze all these requirements. Okay, Tom, I can come up with some design for you. I can come up with some design for you. So what he will do, since they're from the builder company, they're going to give the design. How exactly the design would be? The design would be like uh, the architecture, right? The design would be the architecture, or the high level details about the house, which means they will give a diagram in such a way that, okay, the entrance will come here, the sit out will come here, the hall will come here, like that. A bigger picture they will give. Along with that, they will give you a 3D model, which is the detailed design, which is a detailed design. What is this detailed design? Okay, in the hall, what all minute details will be there, that level of detailing will be given in this particular 3D model. Okay, so this is called, right, low level or detailed design. This is called low level or details, means in detail everything will be explained. In this is a high level architecture. Okay, this is how it looks, and then in detail each and every room, each and every requirement will be considered. So after giving all these design, if you are okay with the design, you will tell the company, right, okay, I'm okay with the design, let's start building the house. Otherwise, if you need any modifications, you will say, no, I need some changes in this particular design. So you can make those changes so that we can go ahead with the construction. So let's say you have come to an agreement. Okay, I'm okay with this particular design. Let's start the construction. So the Henry's role, gathering the requirement, will be over. Once Henry gathers the requirement, the design and everything will be done by some other person. Okay, there will be a separate team for design team. They will give you the design team will give you the design. Once that is done, there will be a different set of people, right, to construct the house. Okay, to construct the house, different set of people will be there. Okay, so construction engineers and workers, let's take this, right? So as soon as they start the construction, right, there will be a lot of agreements. Okay, this is the pricing and all those details will be considered, and then once everything is agreed, the construction of the house will start. And then once the construction starts, okay, at the design phase you might be having certain ideas, but when the construction of the house starts, you might as and when the progress goes, you might come up with different ideas also. If there is an agreement between the client and the company, right, or the developer, then only they're going to allow the changes. Otherwise, as per the design, the construction will happen. Once the construction is complete, it will be handed over to the client, right? So that's how we are going to construct a house. Means if I want to construct a house also, I am following a step-by-step approach. In a similar fashion, if I want to develop any software, we have to follow a step-by-step approach to develop a software. So what exactly will happen in each and you try to analyze whatever I have given as an example for the construction company, because that will remain that in your day-to-day life you will be doing, or you will be seeing all those activities, and you can compare the same thing with these particular requirements. Okay, so let's understand everything in detail about this particular software development life cycle. The first phase is requirement phase. In this phase, what happens? Business analyst collects requirements from client or customer and documents the requirement, which is called business requirement specification document. Okay, the role is business analyst. The business analyst from the development company will sit with the client or customer. There will be an individual or maybe group of people from the customer end, and the business analyst will meet together, and then the client will explain all his requirements to the business analyst. And then after collecting all the requirements of the client, business analyst will create a document which is called business requirement specification document, which is BRS, or it can also be called as customer requirement specification document, right? So that is the requirement phase. So what client will do in this particular phase, right? We'll take an example of a real world software application, and then we'll try to understand that. Okay, so the role involved in this particular phase is business analyst, and the outcome of this particular phase is business requirement specification document. Okay, so that's about the requirement phase. So what are these requirements, right? Let's take one example of inventory and billing software, right? In this particular, what is this inventory and billing software? For example, I am a company who sells mobile phones, right? I want to maintain my stock, and then whenever a phone is sold, whenever a phone is sold, I have to bill that particular customer who is buying it, and then my inventory or stock should be reduced. That kind of it's a billing software, which is a which is also called as point of sale software, which is very common. You will see across all the industries, right? So what is this? In this, the client will say, I want to maintain my inventory. I want to bill and generate the invoice to the customer, and then not only one user, multiple users will generate the bill at a time. For example, if you go to any shopping mall, or if you go to supermarket, there will not be only one counter, but multiple billing counters will be there. But the software is one. Each and every billing counter, one person will be sitting, and he will be having separate, login, separate username and password to that particular software to bill, right? So that's the requirement. And need stock and financial reports. Means stock means, okay, how many are sold, how many are available in my inventory or in my godown, and then how many today how much money I have generated, or it might be a daily basis, it might be monthly basis or yearly basis, whatever date the customer selects, we should be able to generate the financial reports also. Okay, so this is the requirement is given by the customer uh, to the business analyst. Okay, we'll go in each and every phase. We will take this inventory and billing software, and we'll try to analyze, right, how exactly a software will be built. The next phase is analysis phase. Okay, the requirement is given by the client, but whether it is feasible to develop all the requirements given by the customer or client or not, that analysis will be done. Okay, analysis and feasibility study of the requirement is done. Not every requirement will be converted into a software. There will be some restrictions also, right, while developing a software, because customer on his day-to-day basis, whatever he does in his store or in his supermarket or wherever it is, he is going to explain that to the business analyst. But not all the requirements can be we can always fulfill all the requirements, or there might be some restrictions in fulfilling all the requirements. So we have to do a feasibility study of all the requirements, right? And we have to analyze the requirement, and we have to do feasibility study of the requirement. Once that is done, so who are all going to do this particular feasibility study? So you can see here business analyst, because he is the person who has who is interacting with the customer. So business analyst, and then the project managers, right? So these people are from the development team, and then different team leads, and it all depends on the company, but these are the main roles which will always be involved in analyzing the requirements. Once they analyze the requirements, so they will filter out, okay, I can we can develop this particular software for these requirements, right? A detailed software requirement are documented. So whatever orally the requirements given by the client, it will not be properly designed to develop a software. So there will be a document which is generated, which is called software requirement specification document by these people, right? So in this phase, what happens, we are going to uh, write a software requirement specification document along with analyzing the and doing the feasibility study of the requirement. So the outcome is software requirement specification document. So what is this software? You can see here, this is how the software requirement specification will be detailed out for a billing software. Let's say I want to have a login page and its functionalities, like username, password needs to be entered. If wrong password is entered, you need to show the error message. All those detailing will be written there. And then customer told multiple users needs to log in and build the software. So we need to have a module. We'll call these things as modules, right? User management, we need to have user management, like add user, update user, delete user. If they leave the company, they have to delete the user, right? Update the user, if they have entered wrong data, they want to update the user, right? While adding the user, you need to create their username, password, and all those things. All these detailing were not given by the client in the requirement phase, right? So these kind of detailing will be written by the written in the software requirement specification document. So similarly, product management, right? In the product management, you will be having category and subcategory, right? In the smartphones, you might be having in the phone industry you might be having smartphone, normal phone, like that. Different categories will be there, and then different company will also needs to be added, right? Like that you need to have product management module, and then billing module, and then reports module. Like this everything will be written in detail, right? That's about the analysis phase. Once the analysis of the entire requirements are done, and once software requirement specification document is generated, they will once again sit with the customer, and then they will give the detailing about it. Okay, this is how the software requirements will be filtered out. These are the software requirements we can develop, and these are the requirements we will not be able to develop. Okay, so they will sit in detail, and then they will come to an agreement. Okay, this is fine, you can go ahead and give me a design, like how exactly the software will look on a high level, and then give me a detailing about it and start developing the software. So in the design phase there are two types of design. One is high level design and low level design. You can see here the similarities, the same thing. If you go back and do the construction, there is a high level design which will be given by the company, and then in detail about each and everything will also be charted out, right? So similarly in software also we will be having high level design and then low level design. What is this high level design? Okay, I will be having user management module. Like that there will be some architecture which will be charted out. There will be, okay, this is the flow, and then like that the high level architecture will be written. These are the modules will be there, and then certain modules will interact each other. Like that high level architecture will be given. That is high level design. And in each and every module you might be having sub modules also, right? So those things will always be considered in low level design. Those things will always be considered in low level design. Okay, or detailed design. We'll come to this. We'll take up an example of that inventory and billing software, and then we will understand this. So what are overall will be involved in this? The develop architect from the development company. Okay, this person is the main person who is going to with the help of software requirement specification as well as business requirement specification document, he is going to write give the high level and low level design documents. So along with him, team leader and senior developers will also be involved in this. Okay, so the outcome of this particular phase is high level and low level design documents, right? So we'll take up the same example. You can see here inventory and billing software. The high level architecture would be manage inventory, billing, user management, reports. Like this, a big module list will be given, and then how exactly they interact each other. When you go to the low level design, right? So in manage inventory, manage products will be there, manage stocks will be there, manage vendors will be there, manage warehouses will be there. All right. So the detailing will be filtered out to the core, right? That is low level design. That is low level design. That's about design phase. Once the design is shown to the developer, okay, this is how the entire product works. Sometimes what happens, they are going to develop this with some prototypes or some user interfaces. You will understand about all those things. What is the user's interface means? There will not be any functionality, but you will be having, okay, a pictorial kind of representation will be given to the client. Okay, this is how it looks, right? Once the client accepts that, or if there are any changes, he is going to suggest the changes, or if once he accepts that, the development phase will start. So with the help of requirement as well as design documents, developers, okay, the input for this particular development phase is requirement as well as design documents. Everything will be considered. Okay, not only design documents, you need to developers will always go through requirement documents as well as design documents, and then they are going to start writing the code to develop the product. How they are going to write the code? With the help of certain coding languages or programming languages like C or C++, right, or Java or Python. Like this, many programming languages are there. With the help of all these programming languages, they are going to develop a software. It might be one programming language, or it might be combination of many programming languages, right? For a big enterprise application, it will always be a combination of multiple programming languages will be there. So all level of developers will be involved in this, in the sense uh, 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 the senior developers, junior developers, and then team leaders. Sometimes team leaders may also code, right? All those, and in the development phase, the project managers also in maybe daily meeting or weekly meetings, they will be involved. So it is a very very big phase of software development. All those phases are uh, one window, and then this software development is a very very big phase, because whatever you have decided, you need to bring it as a software, bring the software as an output. So lot of time will be involved, time and resources will be involved in this. So the outcome of this particular phase is source code as well as developed product. Okay, so source code in the sense, with the programming languages, whatever code you are going to write, that will be called as source code. And then the final developed product. Once this particular phase is completed, right, there will be a testing phase. The developed product is tested thoroughly by the testing team and ensure that the software is error free. So like software development life cycle, we also have software testing life cycle. We'll understand like what are the different phases which are involved in software testing life cycle. Even that is a testing is a part of software development life cycle, and in its own, it has its own systematic approach, and different methodologies will be there, and different types of testing will be there. All those things should be considered while testing a software. So with the help of software testing lifecycle, the testing team is going to test the developed software. So what are all who are all roles which are involved? All levels of testers, means junior, senior testers, team leads, project managers, or test managers. All those persons will be involved in this. And then outcome, quality product and test artifacts. So test artifacts means lot of documents will be generated in this particular software testing lifecycle. In the sense, test strategy will be there, test plan document will be there, and to test the product, they will be having a systematic step-by-step test case will be there, right? So and then the what if you find some errors or bugs, that bug reports will be there. All those are called test artifacts. Lot of documents will be the output of this particular phase. Once the testing is complete, right, and test once test management team uh, gives a go ahead for the product to release to the customer, that particular product will be deployed or will be installed in the customer environment. In the development phase, development, there will be a development environment. In the testing phase, there will be a testing environment, and the customer environment will be the production environment. This will be the production environment. Okay, so that is called deployment phase. Once everything is done, after testing team sign off, the product is deployed or installed in the customer environment for the end user. So who are all involved in this particular deployment phase? Deployment engineers, there will be separate deployment engineers will be there. They are going to deploy the product in the customer's environment. So what is the outcome of this phase? Ready to use product in production environment. Ready to use product in customer or production environment. The customer environment where we have deployed the software is called production environment. So the last phase is maintenance phase, right? Even in production environment, we might start getting some errors or issues, and those needs to be addressed and resolved. It is not that after doing so much of testing and development and everything, the end product will be 100% error free. That will not never be the case for in any software development. So whatever errors you find in the production environment, those errors needs to be resolved, or there will be some new change or enhancement request. So initially the customer for this inventory and billing software, he might have told, okay, I have only one branch but multiple uh, users will be there. Now after 6 months he will say, hey, I'm starting one more branch. The entire for that branch, the entire inventory and then billing and everything should be different. But uh, the software whatever you are going to give me should be an integrated one. In the sense everything should be in one place. I should be able to see everything in my hand, in the sense all the reports and everything of that branch also. So for that, what you need to do, this is a new change request, or new it's also called as enhancement request. So you need to add one more module called branch module, where you need to create one branch, right? There is a main branch and then a branch 2, and then in that, for that branch you need to start adding the users and then the stock and all those things. So these kind of requirements might also come in the maintenance phase. So how exactly this maintenance will be done? There will be a service level agreements between customer as well as the development company, and then based on those agreements they are going to resolve the issues. And then if there are any new changes, right, they will agree that, okay, I will give you maintenance for 2 years for this amount. Anything I ask, you should be able to do it. Or the agreements can be any type, right? So in this particular maintenance phase, production support engineers, developers and testers, all these three people will be involved. If there are any new changes or requests, those changes needs to be first discussed with the production support engineers, and then it will be passed to the developers will develop those things, and then it will be tested, and then again it will be deployed, right? If there are any errors or issues, sometimes production support engineers can also fix those issues or errors. Or if the customers have any queries related to any module or anything, will also be addressed by these production support engineers. So this is the maintenance phase. In the sense, after completing the development, you need to maintain the software for n number of years, for n number of years, because it is not that 1 year they will use and stop it. They might use it for many years with many new requirements or many users, or any requirement come for that matter, right? So it is also very important phase in software development life cycle. That's about the entire the phases whatever we have discussed here, all these different phases, right? And their detailed overview, what happens in each and every phase, and then who are all will be involved in each and every phase of that particular software development life cycle. So in this particular software development life cycle, we have different models. Okay, so models are nothing but different approaches, right? For a small software, what needs to be the approach? For a big software, what needs to be the approach? Or for an enterprise software, what needs to be the approach, right? So there are different approaches or models are there, which are very standard and commonly used in the industry. The first one is waterfall model, iterative model, prototype model, rapid application development, spiral model, V model, and agile methodology. So these are all very important models which we have used, and then this is a traditional model. But agile methodology is the uh, model which is used currently in the market. So we will see all the important SDLC models in our upcoming videos. So that's about software development lifecycle. So if you like this video, I think I have taken with a lot of examples. I have explained this software development lifecycle because this is the fundamental for any developer or any tester who wants to uh, come to software industry, right? You need to know in detail about it. That's why I have taken this particular video a bit long with lot of examples and lot of explanation. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel, as well as we are present in all these different platforms. Like we have a YouTube channel, we have a Facebook page, we have our own website, and then we have Facebook group. You can follow us on all these platforms. In each and every platform we will come up with new stuff about the software, the technology, and then if there are any job openings which needs to be referred, that also be taken posted in our Facebook pages as well as Facebook group. So please do follow us in all these platforms. Thank you so much for watching.